everyone, Amanda here, thanks for joining me. If you are new, do hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. So today I'm sharing what I think is a new card fold. I've looked and looked and looked and I can't find one exactly the same anywhere else. So I'm calling this Amanda's triple floating diamond card. Okay, if you do like it and you're inspired to make it, as I'm getting back into card making, I'd really appreciate it if you give me a little mention. Alright, so I'm going to show you what it does and then I'm going to show you how to make it. I've got a lot of things prepped ahead of time so it won't take long. So it pulls out like so, and we've got these 3 diamonds. Okay, they do float, they do move, and the middle one is also floating. Okay, so the card would stand like so. Looks like a spaceship. So you can have it with, you know, when it's stood up so that it looks like that. Okay, with the 3 arranged like that. You can have it so that you pull the middle one forward and tuck those behind a little bit, so it's like that. Or you can have it overlapping so that it's like that. Okay, you can have it so that these side bits are turned right around like that. Okay, so that you can decorate each panel and they kind of are floating and independent. And then when it goes away, you go right, left, and it folds flat and it would go in an envelope or in a box. I didn't feel the need for a belly band, which you could add, but I'm going to decorate each panel, so you'd be decorating on top of decorating. So let's show you how it's made. Now if you've got really good quality 12 by 12 card, that would be good, because the width of each piece of card is going to be 6, because it's going to end up a 6-inch card. I don't have any, so I'm using A4, so the length of the card base is going to be 6 by 11 3/4, because that's A4 cut to 6. So if you're using A4, you need 2 of these. If you've got a 12 by 12 sheet, you know, cut 2 and then trim it off at 11 3/4. Then what you want to do is you want to score it at 5 7/8, which is down the middle. So it's staying the full length of the A4 sheet. We're just going to score it down the middle. Okay, and then just check that, because sometimes, you know, card manufacturers might cut it a little bit over. Just make sure that it is central. Now I always say in crafting that things don't have to be perfect. Now there is a part of this card that needs to be right. If it's not right, then the rest of it will look a little bit offline. It's not a major issue, but it will just look a little bit offline if you don't get it right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to Concertina Fold. Now I'm using a hammered card, so I want this pattern on the inside. So although that you're folding your card that way, this is actually going to be the middle of your card, and that's going to be the back. So bear that in mind if you've got any kind of textured card. So all you need to do is pull this side here to the middle, and you can just fold it. If you want to score it, it's a funky score, it's like a funky number. It's in between sizes to get it spot on. So I just found it easier to just fold it. Now this is quite a thick card, is this? I think it's about 300 GSM, so just bear with me. You want to get that as close and as neat as you can. Really, you really do, because it'll just make the other elements nicer. Okay. If you're scoring and folding white card, make sure your hands are clean. I know when I was doing my sample, my hands still had bits of ink and it can go on. Okay, so and then what you want to do is you want to turn it over and do the same to the back. So you're folding each one to the you know, to the spine of the card, as it were. And you want 2 of those. Okay, so you do 2. Okay, and then what you want to do is you're going to find the center point of the outside of each, which is going to be 3 because it's a 6-inch card. So find your measurer, or do it on your score. I think I'll do it on the scoreboard. So put it back in your scoreboard, go to 3 and just make a little mark. Turn it around to the other side, again go to 3 and do a little mark. Okay, then what you can do is get a pencil and go from the outer corner there up to there. So basically you're cutting a triangle shape. I'm going to try and see if I can do it on my trimmer. See if I can line it up on my trimmer. I might not be able to. The light's so terrible. I'm going to actually do it the old-fashioned way in case anybody doesn't have a trimmer. So what you do is you go from where you've done your mark, you get your ruler and you just gently, very gently draw a pencil mark down to there. Okay. Mine looks a little bit creased there. That's because it's thick hammered card. I'm not worried about that at all. It won't show. Okay. And then you do the same at the other side. Okay. Alrighty. And then you're going to very carefully, and with the sharpest scissors you've got, cut that out. Now do be careful, because sometimes when you use really thick scissors, I mean these have got really thick blades on them, what happens is it will cut that, you know, it'll cut it 1 millimetre thicker. So I'm using although I'm using smaller scissors, they've got much narrower, sharper blades, so it's going to be a more accurate cut. And that's why if you can do it on your trimmer, it's more accurate. But I just think for those people that don't have a trimmer, I like to try and do it with minimal supplies. So ruler, pencil and scissors. You don't have to have a trimmer. It does help. I will show you the old-fashioned way, and just take your time. Okay, trim that. If you've got any pencil lines left, just rub them out. Alright, and then do the same at the other side. If you're not good at cutting straight, just do your best. It doesn't. We're going to layer over with some more white card, so if the lines are a little bit out, it's not going to show massively, and that's why I've done it with white card. I've done it on purpose, so that there's if it's not perfect, it won't show up as bad. Alright. Right, so the next bits I've pre-prepared so that I'm not spending ages cutting. So what you're going to need now, you've got your 2 card bases, okay, folded the same. Have I got it right? So that's out. Needs to be that way, Amanda. That way. So it needs to be that way. Okay, I think. Is that right? Let me just check. Yep. I think I've got that right. No, that way. I can't remember how to make my own card. So that way. Yeah. Okay, because these are we're gonna stick these together. Okay. So like so. Okay. So we're going to line those up. Okay. So you're putting both your pieces flat on the deck, and then you fold in the nearest triangular piece inwards like so, and you're going to line it up so that it makes like a square. Then we're going to layer over with some cardstock. So we've got 3 pieces of cardstock, 1 for each diamond, and these measure 4x4, nice and easy. This is like pearlized. I just thought it'd be nice. Okay, just use what you've got. That's what I'm doing. So what you do is you just line that up as best you can. Okay, because I'm using pearlized, I'm going to use this one. Okay. Come on. There we go. Should have had it upside down, really. Alright, and what you're going to do is you're going to overlap that onto one get it into the, so the points are on the centre, and then you essentially gluing those two halves together using that little panel there. Try and get it so that it's somewhat like, but like I say, because we've cut it in white cardstock, you've got a small error, a small, you know, it's going to be more forgiving. Okay. And that's why it's this, you know, important to make sure you've got these bits cut right, or else your layering will look a little bit off. Alright, that's fine for me, I'm happy with that. Okay, and then we're going to do the others. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my glue on this triangle here. And then I'm layering my card on, like so. So these points should go on the crease line. Okay, you just might need to just adjust so you've got a nice border there, kind of thing. Alright, don't worry too much if it's not perfect. That's why we've used white card to do our first layer, so that if it's not 100% perfect, it doesn't matter. Okay, and when you're putting your glue on this triangle, just stay away from the very, very close edge, because obviously you're going to have a small increment. Okay, so that one's lined up lovely, so I've obviously got that one a little bit straighter than the others, and it's one of those things that'll come with practice. It's not always easy to cut everything absolutely bang on straight, is it? Right, so that's your 3 diamonds, okay, so that's your base started. So what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to layer up with some pink, just to give it a pop of colour, because I am keeping that cardstock plain at the back, because it's hammered, it's a little bit textured. So this coloured layer here is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, so we're just going down just 1/8 of an inch, and then I've got another white layer here, which again is that pearlised, and it is 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. Okay, so I will just glue all of these on, and then I'll come back for the decorating. Un momento. Okay, so I'm back. So I've layered that up, that's made that nice and sturdy, and so our card is going to look amazing, like so. Alright, you can layer in with coloured, obviously coloured card or whatever you want on those panels there. I've had to be frugal because I don't have a lot of coloured card, so I've just used it for an accent. Alright, or obviously you could use a coloured card base to start with. Alright, but if you've got limited supplies, everybody has white, so that's why I chose white. So what I've done for my decoration, again, this is pre-prepared because I might do a separate video on this, but I used the beautiful floral script, Sketched Flowers by Lou Collins, and this is available on Craftstash. There'll be a link in the description box below, and then I've used the stamp set, which is called Reflections, and these are word labels. Okay, so those are what I've used, and I've stamped these on watercolour paper, and then I have hand painted with watercolour paints, and then I've fussy cut them. But you could just stamp straight onto the card and use alcohol markers, you could use watercolour pencils, anything you like. So here are my elements for my card. So I'm going to start now and decorate my card. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to actually just use this because it's pearlised card and I don't want it to move. Do I want it dimensional? I could make it dimensional because some of my lovely friends today have sent me some foam tape, God love them. I was really short. Where have I put it? Where have I put it? Here it is. So I think I will make it dimensional. So I'm going to use some of these. So you might see some pictures on the back of mine. That's because I used a cheap way of getting the watercolour paper. I saw a watercolour book in Aldi, and you know, it was, I think it was Flower Fairies or something, that you could watercolour them, and I took it. It was like £3, so I got it just for the paper. Okay, because watercolour paper can be dear. And it was a big pad full of it, so I thought I'll have one of those. Okay. So I'm going to centralise that. So this has been stamped with archival ink, black archival ink. Don't protrude over the top or the bottom. And don't go, you know, if you want to really have elaborate decorations, don't exceed, don't go outside the diamond, basically. Okay, there we go. That's that one down. So these ones here, I don't know if I'll be able to put these fully on dimensionals. I think I'll glue the bottom one and then put the side ones on dimensionals. So this is lovely thick watercolour paper. It's another reason why I bought it. Really good quality. Okay. So let me just think where I want this one. I want it about there. Okay, just off to the side a little bit. Oops, I've got a bit of splodge. Bit of a splodge. Bit of a glue splodge. You don't want a glue splodge. Let me see if I can just get it out. There we go. I don't want glue splodges on pearlised card. I'll leave it to dry. And then I'm going to use a foam dot on this one. Cut up. And you can, you know, really go to town on these. Like I say, I didn't want to complicate it with patterned paper in the background because I wanted the focus really to be on these, because I spent ages making them. I sat one night and spent quite a while, like I say, because they are, I have watercoloured them with paints and a brush. I took my time so that they look nice, but there's different things you could do, and like I say, there is room on those diamonds for you to just stamp straight on or stick what you want on there. Okay, just get these off. Bear with me, sorry. A little bit fingers and thumbs. So the bottom one is glued on, and then the second one is on dimensionals, and then it looks like it's 3D. That's really pretty, and I just think that this stamp set is absolutely beautiful, and it really isn't difficult to just colour it. I mean, I've tried to do some shading with the watercolour in there, as you can see, but you could just colour them flat. You don't have to have fancy shading. I mean, that's not fancy, but you know what I mean. You don't have to do shading and try, and you can just colour them in with anything, felt tip pens, anything. You could leave them just plain stamped. You don't even have to colour them. And like I say, you can make the card pop more with a patterned background, but I didn't have anything suitable. That I just wanted to show off these flowers, to be honest. I just wanted to show them off. Right, so if that's going there, wants to go round about there. Okay, and then again I'm going to put this one on foam dots, foam squares. I'll just cut it into sections. Okay, and I'm going to send this to one of my crafty friends. Let me just make sure that's not showing. No, it's not. Okay. Oops. Sorry about that, I just dropped it on the floor. Okay, let me just make sure that's down. Take these off. Goodness knows how long this video is going to be, but I really don't mind. it's going to be a beautiful card, and I know exactly who I'm going to send it to. Okay, so how did I do that one? Yeah, so I'm just overlaying, so I'm kind of trying to go sort of central with this one so that it layers over and it just looks pretty. And then what I do have is I have used this the word label stamp set. I've pre-stamped them to save time, and I've stamped the words special and friend. Okay, so we're going to just attach these on. Okay, so tiny bit of glue just on half of that word. I'm going to have it hanging over sort of thing. Okay, so just let me remind myself where I want it. I want that there, and I'm going to have that going across the flowers there so that it kind of stands up along with that. Yeah, and then this here. Can go there. Special friend. And just make sure that when it's stood up right, that's kind of straight when it's facing you, and it is. So there's the focal point, and there's the side panels. Absolutely stunning. I really enjoyed making those, and so of course it will stand like so, or I would probably just flip it and have it like that, and that will just look beautiful on somebody's mantle or bookshelf. Okay, so I hope you will give that a try. Like I say, if you are inspired to give it a go, please do give me a quick shout out. I would really appreciate it. And my tip for this card, the main tip for this card, is to make sure that these triangles here are as accurate as you can get them. Okay, other than that, the rest is an absolute doddle. And then of course when you've done, pull it flat, go right and left, and you've got a beautiful card. Alright, thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.